Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a book that's honestly a classic for a reason. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We're going to break down the very first 3 principles for handling people. And hey, these aren't just theories. These are tools you can start using like today. All right, let's kick things off with this quote. It's from John D. Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest people in history. And what he's saying here is huge. He didn't just build his empire on oil, He knew that the real currency, the skill that was worth more than anything else, was knowing how to deal with people. So what's with this number, 85%? Well, this comes from some fascinating research by the Carnegie Institute of Technology. And get this, they found that even in super technical jobs like engineering, a massive 85% of your financial success comes down to what they called human engineering, basically your personality and how you lead people. Your actual technical knowledge, that's only 15%. Isn't that wild? Okay, so if these people skills are so incredibly important, what's the biggest mistake we all tend to make? Carnegie puts it perfectly with this metaphor. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. It sounds simple, right? But you'd be surprised how often we do it and then wonder why we get stung. So to really get to the bottom of this mistake, Carnegie did something pretty clever. He looked at human nature at its absolute extreme. He studied some of America's most dangerous criminals, and he asked a simple question. What did these guys actually think of themselves? The answer is, well, it's pretty eye-opening. Take this quote from a notorious killer, Two Gun Crowley. He wrote this, get this, while the police were literally firing bullets into his apartment. And what did he write? Under my coat is a weary heart, but a kind one that would do nobody any harm. He didn't see a villain in the mirror. In his own mind, right up until the very end, he was a kind, misunderstood guy, a victim. And then there's Al Capone, probably the most infamous gangster in American history. Did he ever blame himself for all the violence and crime? Nope, not a chance. He genuinely saw himself as a public benefactor. He thought he was just giving people a good time and getting nothing but abuse for it. Incredible, right? So here's the big takeaway from all this. 99 times out of 100, people just don't criticize themselves, no matter how wrong they might be. So think about it. If guys like Capone and Crowley saw themselves as saints, what chance do you and I have of getting the regular people in our lives to see their own mistakes just by criticizing them? The answer is pretty much 0. And this is why Carnegie says criticism is basically useless. In fact, it's worse than useless. It's dangerous. Because what it does is it puts people on the defensive immediately. It hurts their pride, their ego, and that sparks a resentment that can stick around for a lifetime. We have to remember, we're not dealing with creatures of pure logic here. We're dealing with creatures of emotion, driven by pride. And a wounded pride, it has a very, very long memory. Even one of the greatest leaders in history, Abraham Lincoln, had to learn this lesson the hard way. As a young man, he wrote this letter making fun of a politician and got it published anonymously. Well, the politician was so furious, he found out it was Lincoln and challenged him to a duel. A real duel, with swords to the death. They actually had to be stopped by their friends just moments before it happened. And that experience, it completely changed him. After nearly dying just for the satisfaction of tearing someone down, he took this quote to heart, "Judge not, that ye be not judged." From that day on, for the rest of his incredible life, Lincoln almost never criticized anyone for anything, ever again. And that brings us right to the first big principle. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. It's